Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. We
This
going
was
in,
not the
Jeff. I'm
best
sorry.
setup. Yeah, this was not the best setup.
I apologize.
Because I don't even want to talk about the stuff I was going to talk about.
Come on, Jeff, let's talk about it, because they got Snoop all over the news apologizing, and we have yet to hear an apology from Gayle King.
Who's now the victim.
Well, and you know what, y'all? I have, over the last week, just gotten tired. And I'm tired because there's just a really kind of interesting, almost scary energy that I'm feeling in our community of divisiveness and a unwillingness to talk to each other versus talk at each other, and an unwilling understanding versus being right. And it's dangerous.
Right.
And so, I mean, you all heard my opinion. I felt like at a mainstream network, I felt like her question about legacy, while ill-timed, was an appropriate journalistic question. The moment she dug in, and I'm gonna be honest, and I mean, Eva, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm interested in knowing, like, here's where I've been, and I questioned whether or not I was going to say this on the air. But somewhere in the middle of the last few days, I wondered to myself, was Gayle sexually assaulted? Does she have a close friend that was sexually assaulted? Because to me, that felt like a trigger. It was like it went from a perhaps ill-timed but appropriate journalistic question about legacy to, well, you wouldn't know. It went from professional to real personal real quick. And as I've been trying to give grace and find understanding, I wondered to myself, was this a personal trigger about herself or a loved one? Because I think that there's a lot of sisters out there that have been sexually assaulted or helped another sister through being sexually assaulted, and they carry that trauma with them. And in carrying that trauma with them, they react like that in a similar way to Snoop, who to me is the unk of the culture. And in being the unk of the culture, as a man, you want to protect the culture. And so his reaction to Gayle was less an attack on Gayle and more a man who views himself as a protector of the culture, his friend's wife and children, who moved to protect, not attack. And I just think that because most of us have not been trying to understand anybody, we just react to other people's reactions. We just get further and further down this rabbit hole of reacting to other people's reactions and attacking to other people's attacks versus taking a step back, trying to understand where are they coming from, even if I vehemently disagree, and then move from there. And that's just where my head has been, because I as a culture, as a people, we just do not need to continue to allow the world to see us attacking each other without some of us being mature enough to pause, deal with the psychoses, look at the psychoses that some of us are dealing with, and at least lift them for us to have discussion versus just debate where we shouting at each other. So my hope is that Gayle will address Snoop, I think, with the level of reflection that he addressed her.
Yeah.
And I hope that she will address us as a community with the level of reflection that I think Snoop had. And perhaps if she does that, then folks will be able to perhaps give her a little bit more humanity versus just encapsulating her in what many of us believe was inappropriate. And so those are my hopes, y'all, because, listen, we all we got in a real way.
Yeah.
And if this is the way we continue to communicate with each other, we're going to have a hard road to hoe when everybody, in so many cases, is attacking us and we're attacking ourselves, not necessarily because we hate each other, but because so many of us are navigating our own hurt and don't know how to. So that wasn't what I had, Rick, but that's what I got.
But Jeff, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Oprah was sexually abused from 10 to 14 years old.
Okay. I get all of that, and Jeff, I get your point, and I really feel your point, but I think we got all the way away again from the basic fact that we're saying, Gayle, what would it hurt you to apologize when you see how much hurt your comment
That's why I just
created?
I just ended.
You know,
I hope
and we can still feel compassion for her
Gayle
situation.
is reflective.
Yeah.
And I hope that her remarks are reflective.
We're
and
just saying step up and just apologize.
Right.
But see, I want her to be y'all know as well as I do that some apologies are about communication specialists telling you this is how you navigate to the other side of this. I want to hear reflection.
Jeff, can you do one more break with us? You mind? We could do Eva's Corner. You mind? Because this is like
absolutely. I got something to say.
So listen. So we'll let you make a point. So Jeff, can you do another break with us?
No, I'm here.
All right, so coming back, we're going to finish this discussion because it's bothering everybody. So we was going to do something else twice, but we can't move on because we got to get this out of our system because it's bothering us. We're going to do that coming up next, y'all. Big shout out to Snoop Dogg because him apologizing shows that he is the bigger person.
That's right.
And we have yet to hear an apology from Gayle King, who started this mess.
Right.
So you want to ostracize, what's the word?
Ostracize.
Snoop Dogg. But you changed the whole narrative because I'm looking at the news. He's all over the news showing Snoop Dogg apologizing. But let's go all the way back
to how it started.
Yeah.
And who threw the first stone?
Yeah.
And real quick before we get to these calls, Special K was saying something off there because we talking about we're gonna get to these calls. And you were saying what real quick?
I was saying she needs to step up the way he stepped up, swallow her ego the way he swallowed his ego, and apologize for being wrong in the first place, for bringing up a narrative that did not have to be brought out at that time.
Right.
She was wrong for it. Apologize.
That's it.
Yeah. And
a real apology.
A real apology where you take ownership of your wrongdoing in the first place.
With a little sincerity in it, please.
Yeah. Yeah, and that got me so upset and disturbed this morning because,
You think she should bring Snoop on her show, and so they can talk it out together?
I wouldn't go and give her the ratings. I wouldn't go give her not one rating.
Still even said I will talk it out.
Why can't she
privately.
come on? Hold on. Why can't she come on his show? He got a show with Martha Stewart. Why can't she make an appearance on that show? Or she started it.
Absolutely.
So why should Snoop go to her set and sit on her set in front of in her place of comfort and offer an apology? You know what I'm saying? Because you got a whole bunch of fans out there that still feel a certain kind of way. What happened? I know we supposed to be talking about the top rappers, but we got the argument in the studio, and sometimes that's the best radio.
But
go ahead, Gary.
But I mean, and y'all know we talked about this. But still, regardless of all how we feel, because it was a sensitive subject and what happened, Gayle King is a journalist. Journalists is gonna bring up, but she gonna bring up stuff like that because that's what journalists do.
Okay, we're all journalists in a
but
sense.
Having journalistic acumen is necessary for a journalist too, which she did not have or display.
She had the acumen. She was asking the question because this is what people are gonna still talk about, regardless if she spoke about it or not. So she was just asking his friend how did she feel about it, and she said that she didn't feel. She felt that Kobe never acted that way around her.
But she brought up a narrative that did not have to be brought up. That had nothing to do with the conversation they were having.
We could say it didn't have to be. We could say it didn't have to be brought up.
But it was, Gary, that had nothing to do with the conversation they were having.
I understand
nothing.
all that, but it evidently had something to do with it. She brought it up.
But so she brought it up, Gary. She brought it up, and Lisa Leslie answered it. But then she kept digging as if she wanted a different answer and a different response.
And that's true, and she did, but still, at the end of the day, she's a journalist,
Gary,
and she still brought it up.
You're doing what they're doing. You blow over that part.
Don't pacify that.
You just blow over that part as if it's nothing, and that's so manipulative.
Well,
I hate when people
what was that question?
Take that point, a critical point that he made, and just blow over it to make you. Man, listen, ain't nobody woke up out of bed feeling like this.
Right.
Ain't nobody against Gayle King. Nobody was ever against Gayle King or Oprah. Nobody. People feel what they feel. It's something ain't right about what she did. It made me feel a certain way.
Yeah.
That man died with his daughter. She had no business asking that question. Period.
Inappropriate.
Period.
We'll address these 50 rappers. We'll do that tomorrow because they got Snoop Dogg all over the news apologizing and stuff, which shows his character.
Yeah.
And show how great he is that he manned up and apologized or whatever. And we all forgive Snoop and we love Snoop and we understand exactly how he feels.
Right.
But now we are waiting. So hashtag Gayle King, when are you gonna apologize? Hashtag Gayle King apologize. Hashtag Gayle King, your turn to apologize. Hashtag
Keep it going.
Gayle King, it's your turn to apologize. All right, y'all, Rick Smiley, the morning show. Hey, it's about Jeff. Thank you for staying on with us. And I tell you, man, I'll take this to my grave. I did not wake up out of my sleep feeling a certain way about what Gayle King did, and it's just funny how the whole conversation has been manipulated, and they have totally changed the narrative to what started the stuff. Kobe Bryant died. His daughter died. We're not talking about that anymore. We're not talking about the fact that she asked a question that was inappropriate. But now it has been manipulated into what Snoop said in his response in his anger. Now, I don't agree with what him calling her
the B word.
The B word. And or whatever, and what sounded like what she took as a threat or whatever.
Right.
But I felt what he felt, and I got just as angry, and and I just feel the way I feel. But to have Snoop all over the news this morning apologizing as if Snoop Dogg woke up out of his sleep and just decided to. That's what. Let me stop the music for a second. Let me tell y'all what this looked like. America. It looked like Snoop Dogg woke up out of his sleep and attacked Gayle King. That's what it looked like right now. That's the way they making it seem like Snoop Dogg woke up out of his sleep and attacked Gayle King, and that's not what happened. What about what she did? How did this start? We all black. We feel the way we feel, like something didn't feel right. Jeff, you said it. Something didn't feel right about it.
And this Special K coming back in. What the whole point I'm making this morning is that their journalistic integrity or journalistic responsibilities aside, you can't let your journalism trump your humanity. And in this sense, in this situation, at this one time, I feel like Gayle King can step up and be a bigger person and not only accept his apology, but make an apology on her own, a true, sincere apology, where she says, I'm sorry for asking the question that I asked and the follow-up question that I asked, because at that time, I could have avoided it and still had a quality interview.
And you know what, Kay? It's not just, your journalism trumping humanity. At the end of the day, she is a black woman. And when we, as African Americans, are given an opportunity to be leaders on a level in which she is, she has a responsibility to the culture. Point blank in all periods. So we can say it's journalism and what you're supposed to ask and not supposed to ask, but the reason why she is in that position is to further the culture and not to hurt it. So if she does not want to further the community, then don't say anything, because what she did was she set us back. And then to go back to Jeff's point about having gone through a history of trauma, let's keep it real, Jeff. Black people in America and all over the world have a history of trauma. That is not an excuse to be a victim, and that is not an excuse to not have a level of sensitivity to other people. Me personally, having gone through domestic violence does not give me now a reason and an excuse to make other men who have been not found guilty of domestic violence, then go ahead and throw them in the pot because I've suffered it. That's not cool. You can't do that because we've all been through our level of trauma. And lastly,
Eva, I totally agree with you. I think the issue is we all will get further even when we are holding somebody accountable, because she was wrong for understanding why.
Right, and that's
we can more effectively hold people accountable when we understand why. I'm not letting her off the hook for it. I just want to be clear about what it was.
But see, the thing is, Jeff, the breakdown of
but being clear about what it is lets me know how I need to deal with Gayle in the future. If Gayle apologizes and speaks to similar to what Snoop did, Snoop didn't just say I'm sorry. Snoop was like, let me tell you where I was at.
Exactly.
Let me let you know what this was about. I was angry. I was hurt. These are my people.
But the problem is Gayle is being defended by this is, journalism, and this is what you're supposed to do as a journalist. And that is not a proper excuse, especially because she's allowed her emotions and personal feelings to infringe upon her journalistic obligations. Because that's how she felt, not how we feel. And if you're going to speak for us, speak for the whole black community. And as a black woman, that's not how I felt.
That's right.
Brett?
That's right. She just should have stopped it. She should have stopped it. Once Lisa Leslie ended it, she should have had nothing else to say. That should have been it. Lisa Leslie ended it very classy and she didn't even bite her head off with it. She didn't even look at her like, what are you doing? She could have really got at her at that point, but she didn't, and Gayle should have shut it down. And she owes everybody, the world, black people especially, and everybody that loves Kobe Bryant, an apology, point blank, period.
And how would you like that apology to sound, Brad?
And a specific one to Lisa.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Kobe's family.
As long as I sit here on this radio, I will not allow Oprah and Gayle to do what they're doing, and the other parts of the media, Susan Rice and the rest of them, do this to Snoop Dogg. Okay. When Snoop Dogg apologized, he apologized for all of us and how we felt. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it. I'm with it. Snoop Dogg, I follow you. I understand how you feel. So you apologize. I'm behind you on your apology as well. But she owes an apology as well.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Or whatever. So
it was a segment or taken out of context or some way to convolute it. She needs to apologize with an I am sorry for what I did and my lack of sensitivity and how it made these people feel.
Eva, all of us, you, me, all the other morning shows, all the other TV and radio personalities, everybody on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, everybody didn't wake up out of their sleep feeling the way we feel. We didn't wake up out of our sleep hating and feeling this way about Gayle King. We're not stupid. Mm-hmm. We're not stupid about how we feel. We're not evil person. We love God. Mm-hmm. We're not evil. We feel what we feel. We felt it wasn't right. Mm-hmm. And she needs to apologize. Absolutely. Just like Snoop did.
Absolutely.